Greetings to my fellow piece blunderers, and today I'm showing you why having a big center and a big space advantage can be sometimes detrimental to your chances of winning a game. In other words, why having a lot of space is sometimes overrated. Now think about it. Have you ever had a game where you were like pushing your pawns forward, you were suffocating your opponent, the position looked great on paper, and then something happened and you either blundered a pawn or some pawn of yours became indefensible or some other weakness happened and all of a sudden your center just fell apart and you lost the game? Well, what is happening, I am about to show you in a very illustrative example. In this example, we are playing from Black's perspective and, surprise, surprise, we're playing the Alekhine e4, knight f6. Now, this is not an opening theory video, so if you don't like the Alekhine, if you don't play the Alekhine, it doesn't matter, do not click away. It's just that, as some of you may know, I play the Alekhine a lot, and it's the perfect example of illustrating the clash of the two ideas, the center against the flank attack. So I'm going to just very quickly go over the first opening moves. E5, attacking the knight is the best move. Knight z5, c4 pressing the knight again, knight retreats to b6. This is all mainline theory. d4, now creating what resembles a powerful center, and it is a powerful center actually. d6, trying to undermine this center with this small subtle attack. And now one of the most aggressive ways of fighting the Alekhine is, of course, the 4 pawns attack, which looks extremely scary, f4. Now takes, and just look at this center, it looks amazing. 3 central pawns either controlling or fighting for some key squares like b5, c5, d5, fighting for f6, d6, some of the really big squares in my own territory. And this is where we remember the good old chess wisdom. If your opponent is controlling the center, you attack it from the flank, and this is what we start doing with c5. We're trying to attack the central d pawn with the flank c pawn. And now d5 is the best move, and we allow d5, we invite white to do this. And after we play g6 now, with the obvious idea of fianchettoing the bishop, pressuring e5, and pressuring this entire diagonal, the engine, believe it or not, shows plus 1.4 advantage for white. After 7 moves, without doing much, white has achieved a practically winning advantage. Like, this is ridiculous. If so, then why do the Pirts, the Alekhine, the Modern, and such, why do they still exist? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you, after 7 moves as black, intentionally put yourself in a position where the white pieces have got 1.4 advantage? And the reason for that is because we play against humans, not engines. And most of us don't even play against, the top players, your grandmasters. Most of us play against club players, casual players, an occasional master if you're good enough. If you're watching this and you're about 2000, okay, you'll play against some FIDE masters, maybe some internationals. Even they will not be perfect in this position. Even grandmasters will not be perfect. And the last thing before I continue, even though this is indeed plus 1.4 for white, do you know what my win rate on chess.com in this position is? It's 61%. It's 61%. Okay, sorry, don't want to brag. I'm sorry if it sounds a bit braggy, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point. You can have positions where you are theoretically or mechanically losing, but in real life situations against real life players, chances are, if you're just better at these positions, if you understand the ideas better, you will prevail more often than not, no matter the evaluation, no matter the center, no matter the space. And now, let me show you a magic trick. I'm going to turn this position in 5 moves from now on, from winning for white to slightly better for black in 5 moves. And the most impressive thing about this trick is that all the moves the white pieces will be making will not seem like mistakes or even inaccuracies. They will all look very logical, very natural moves that a lot of people in real games actually make on the board. And let me show you what I mean. Let's start with knight f3. Very sensible looking move in it. We're developing the knight, we're planning to castle kingside, and we foresee that the bishop is going to go to g7 to attack e5, so we protect e5 with the knight. Logical, right? As black, we now play bishop g4, pinning that knight. As white, we see bishop e2, also completely logical, unpinning the knight, giving it a bit more protection. Black now takes with bishop. Why would you take with a pawn? Taking with the bishop seems far better. Now bishop g7, as advertised, attacking e5. Bishop f4, also very nice looking move. We develop the bishop, we protect e5. Knight 8 to d7, attacking the e5 pawn twice. Very good move. Queen e2, also a decent looking move. We develop the queen a little bit and we protect the pawn some more. And now queen b8, attacking the pawn thrice, now pressuring white's center. And now a $1 million question. Did any of the 5 moves for white that I just showed you look suspicious or bad? Did any of the moves not make sense? All of these moves had a good purpose behind them, a concrete plan that looked quite decent and sensible. However, check the engine now, see what the evaluation says. Minus 0.3 for black. Yes, with every move that white was making, not obvious mistakes by any means, their advantage was slowly fading away. And what happened to white's powerful and mighty center? Look, white is literally holding on to his life. This is not easy to defend. Black has now reached a point where they have almost successfully proved that white's center is more of a liability than an asset. And now black is the one with the initiative. And this is why my win rate in these positions is 61%. And this is why you should not underestimate flank defenses and flank openings and flank system. And this is why you shouldn't overestimate the big centers and the big space advantages. It's very, very easy for white from the mental point of view against these defenses to just lose concentration and start playing like some default moves. They start thinking, well, I have a big center, any developing move I make should be good, more activity, more space, I'm going to win. And this is what you're counting on as black in these flank openings. You're counting on white's negligence. You're counting on them being not careful. And this is where you get to pounce, and this is where you get to win games very impressively, and white does not want to have the big center anymore. So if you're white and you do like the big center, first of all, study the opening lines very carefully of the Pirc, the Modern, the Alekhine, and just be very, very, very careful about your center. Your center is in many positions is much weaker than it looks. And if you're black and you fancy a flank opening, well, of course, I welcome you with open arms, but also study opening lines and middle game ideas coming out of these opening lines very carefully so that you're better prepared than white to face the positions that are going to occur. And yes, I've had just many games, as indicated by my win rate, when white just has this really big center, I bust it open, the king gets vulnerable, and I win. And this is what you may want to do as well. So yeah, if you just so happened to find this video useful, please like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitch. I stream Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Find me on chess.com. Join our Discord, all that good stuff. I'm going to talk to you very soon, my favorite unintentional gambiteers. Love you all. See ya in the next one.